Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a special look at Freelancers. Freelancers is a 3 to 7 player game published by Pad Hat Games and designed by Donald Schultz. So I love games like Forgotten Waters and Dead of Winter, which are the predecessors to this game, and I'm super excited to have got to play this game. I was really excited as soon as I got it. Couldn't wait to bust this out and play it. Now, like Forgotten Waters, this game here offloaded all their Crossroads cards and all the basically admin to an app or web-based site that you get to use to play the game. And in addition to that, it's completely narrated, which is amazing. It also has a really good tutorial. There's very, very little that you need to do to teach someone how to play this game. The app takes care of all of that, which is amazing and great. So you're going to be playing in this post-apocalyptic world where there are no humans left. But you're not playing as humans. You're going to be going through and you're going to be trying to get as many titles as you can and become either as notorious or as honorable as you like towards the end of the game and get the best ending for your character. This game is all about the story, and I love that. Let's go ahead down to the table. I'll give you an idea of a couple of things that comes with this game. Don't want to give any spoilers for it, and let you know that the app pretty much takes care of everything. And then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Right, so this is Freelancers. Freelancers is going to be an adventure-style game. In Freelancers, players belong to a party of freelancing agents embarking on an epic quest together. No job is too small and no monster is too big because you're broke. During these adventures, players will level up their characters and seek personal glory by acquiring titles that reflect their virtues or naughty deeds in hopes of having their names carved into the infamous pipes of the hub. Only the most legendary of the freelancers can gain this honor, and you aim to be among them. So this is a app-driven game, and in this game you're going to need to either download the app or you're going to need to go to the website. And it's freelancersgame.com. The link's also in the instruction booklet. And in here you can do the learn to play. So you can actually learn to play this game from the app, which is really, really cool. You could start quests in here. When you start the quest, you're going to get a code and you write it on the back of your sheet there. So you could start up for where you left off. And there's going to be 5 different maps that you can go through in this game. And this is like map A here. 5 different maps you can go through in the game. I'm not going to go over a whole lot. I'm just going to give you a general idea because the point of this game is going to be the experience. So I'm going to just basically show you a couple things that are unique to this game. This game, if you've played Forgotten Waters, you're going to be pretty much at home with this game. This game does have some really cool additional things to it. One of them is going to be where you're going to divide out all the upkeep to the game to the different players. So there's going to be a scout, a medic, a lookout, an influencer, a cartographer, a bookkeeper, and a game master. And all these people are going to have different little things that they're supposed to do in the game to keep everything going. So I think that's really cool. If you have less than that number of players, some people might have more than one role. These are all very simple things to keep track of, but it's really nice that each person is going to have their own thing. It's going to make the game flow a lot faster. Let's talk about how you set up in general. Okay, so you're going to pick one of your races, and there's a bunch of races in here. Now, I will say that I already, spoiler alert, love this game. And what I did with this game is the same thing I did with Forgotten Waters, is I laminated all these sheets and I use dry erase of markers. And I never have to reprint out these full color beautiful sheets here, even though these are available from their website and you can print them out anytime you want. So you'll never really run out of these, but yeah, this helps be lazy in the future. So anyway, you're going to pick a race, and there's a bunch here. There's going to be a Mouser, Troll, Merfolk, Stilkin, Dwarf, Imp, Hound, Elf, and Goblin. So you're going to pick what race you're going to want to be, and then you're going to go ahead and pick your occupation. And there are a ton of occupations. So like some examples: gambler, skin changer, disgraced noble, thief, private eye, gunslinger, barbarian, spell sword, clam digger, pirate, bard, artificer, knight, dung farmer, warrior, ranger, divorcee, bard, lots of things, friar, lots of different things. So we're going to be a gambling goblin, I think. Yeah, because it does sound interesting. And everyone else is going to pick their race and their occupation. The rest of the sheets will remain in their pads. So if you're crazy like me and laminated them, put the rest of the laminated sheets back in the box. Now, the cool thing about this game, like I said, you're going to have all these different parts that each player is going to do. So one person's going to be the game master. The game master controls the app, which you need for the game, including entering numeric codes, reading entries from the app, and running the timer. So basically that person, whoever you said is the game master, so let's say this guy, will be in charge of running the app for everyone else. The bookkeeper, which is going to be this one occupation right here that you can have, not occupation, but role, is in charge of reading out loud action resolutions from the location book during the new action resolution phase, and in charge of turning to a new page in the location book when the app directs. So basically, they're in charge of this location book. Don't want to spoil anything for the game, but there's tons of really cool things. I'm going to just pop it to this first page here. Don't look very closely, but you're going to have these different actions you can take and different things that happen. Also, once you select your character, you will grab your standee. So in this case, I'm going to grab the goblin, and I will place it by myself here. The cartographer, which is the other role there. The cartographer keeps track of the party on the map. So whatever map you selected, so you selected map A, let's say that cartographer will get that map. They'll get a pen, or in this case, a dry erase marker because I laminated it. And they're going to keep track of where the party is. And they're basically going to circle the location where the party is. So in this case, I will circle here. And as people move along, they're going to go here. And there'll be some routes to select, and you'll cross this one out and circle the other one, and so on. So they're going to be in charge of the map itself. There's also the medic. The medic is going to get this really cool track here. They're going to be responsible for handing out these wounds. By the way, you will lose the game if all the wounds get handed out. So you got to keep that in mind. And that medic's responsible to let you know when that happens. Also, the scout is going to keep track of threat. As the game goes by, this threat counter for different reasons is going to be moving forward. You're going to have to flip these over, and bad things are going to happen. And if all the threats gone and this marker makes it all the way to here, the game is over. The way this actually moves forward, by the way, is that you're going to use this time bag. So that person's going to put all the time counters in there, including the 1 to 3 follower times, so all the yellow tokens in here. And when they're directed or whatnot, they will have to pull these. And when they pull these, some of them won't have anything happen, but if they have these sort of things, if it's this type of icon, it's going to go up here. If it's the biohazard icon, it's going to go here. And then once you hit 3 on either of these track, you're going to move this forward. You're going to resolve what this is, and you're going to return all the ones that are on the track, top and bottom, to the bag. So you could sort of try to get like 5 of these before something fires off. So the scout's a pretty important role for trying to keep the game from ending earlier. Next is going to be the lookout, and the lookout gets this board right here, and basically the lookout keeps track of the location dials that indicate the enemy's health and other game elements. So they'll all be set to 0. There's A, B, and C, and different points they'll be directed to set those to different numbers, and they're responsible for reducing them or raising them depending on what the game does. That's their job. Finally is the influencer. The influencer is responsible for keeping track of the influence track and moving people back and forth based on what happens in the game. Cool note in this is that if you ever gain influence and you're already at the highest, you will also get rid of a corruption, which corruption are very bad to get and important to get rid of as soon as you can. So those are all the different roles in the there. What do you do with your Goblin Gambler? Well, to start the game, you're going to set a name. You're going to get your starting weapon, which in this case is a rusty tool. There's going to be a deck here that has a picture of all the different heroes. You'll just find your picture. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and grab the Goblin. So here's my Goblin, and there's their starting weapon. In this case here, it's going to be when using a weapon check, use a D4 as your bonus die, which is pretty cool. As the game goes by, you can have one weapon, you can have a couple miscellaneous items here over here, and there's augmented items which can act as an item, or you can upgrade an item there, but at any one time you're just going to have one item. If you decide to replace it, you will discard it. That sort of thing, just basics for that. So I got my starting weapon, I put my name in there. Your teeth are circle 1, tusks still bloody, falling out, sharp needles, pearly whites, or gold plated. So just pick one of those. That could come into effect later on. You're going to name a tool, you're going to name a disgusting food, you're going to name a mechanical mode for travel, and name name of another character. So you put all those in, and that is the initial setup of your character sheet. You have 3 health in the game. If you ever go past 3 health, you won't die. But bad things do happen. Now you have your occupation, in this case Gambler. On your occupation, these are the different titles you can gain through the game. The titles are what you want to get to be able to, technically it's a cooperative game that's all about the experience of the game, but if you really want a winner, titles are the way you had to do it. Also, you can gain different actions in here, and you can level up your different checks. So you might have to do a might check, agility check, smarts check, will check, sense check. And with those checks, you're going to roll the 20-sided die here, and that's going to be your value. However, if you have some of these crossed off, which you could get some bonuses like a coin and whatnot in here, you get to roll the die that is the farthest to the right where you have checked off. So if I have this first column checked off, I can roll the 4-sided die, then I can roll the 6-sided die, then I can roll the 8-sided, 12-sided, then 20. So I can upgrade. This character doesn't have any that can go to 220s, but that's how you get more powerful for your different checks throughout the game. The game will ask you to do different checks at different points. A lot of these have to do with the actions you select. But basically, that is how you're going to start setting up the game. So you'll have all these different components out and available, all the different item cards available. These story time cards here, you're going to keep them in order. You're not going to want to shuffle it up. You're going to be asked to find different cards at different points. And then you're ready to start. So this will be closed to start. And you're going to go ahead and start the app and select your map and put in all the characters. So if I go into the app here, and I can select Start Quest. So I select map A. I won't do the tutorial. And I'm done setting up. We're going to select which characters we are and what occupations we have. And then we're going to save and continue. This is going to give you a code. You're going to write down your code on the back of your map sheet so that you can go back to the game at any point. Before you hit continue, it's probably a good time to read off on the back of your occupation, your backstory, your level 1 backstory. You're trying to level up through the game, so you're trying to get to 3 to 4 to get the best ending possible. You're going to read this out, and some of the answers that you put for your race here is going to be used in here, so sort of like a little Mad Lib thing. So read through that so everyone gets accustomed with your character, race, and occupation. And then you can go ahead and continue. Now this sets the game difficulty if you do recommend it. Each of these different maps have different difficulty levels, and if you want to just go with what they designed, you do that. If you want a little easier or harder, you do that. So if you played map A and you want to do harder, do it. You know, just go recommended. And before we begin play, make sure the cartographer has map A. Then each player reads their job backgrounds out loud, just like I said, and then next. And then have the bookkeeper turn to page 35. So the bookkeeper here will change to page 35 here. And this is going to be the hub marketplace. Okay, so then we'll go here, and there's a story you could hear.
The world is a wide, weird place, but here...
After that, it's going to hit done, and then you're going to have 45 seconds to pick an action. Now, the way the actions are going to be picked is in influence order. That player needs to pick their action, and then so on and so forth. If you look at this map here, what you're really going to be looking for is you're looking just for the names of the things that you're doing on here based on what they said, and you'll put your player piece there. If it's this type place, only one player can put it. If it's this type of place, any number of players can put them there. Then the actions are resolved over here in order from top to bottom here. Now, there are some pages here that have these exclamation marks here, and if you have the exclamation mark, a player needs to go there, be forced to go there, and so you have to keep that in mind. Now, these different places will let you do different things. Like I said, though, where you really want to pay attention is just to the name of the action you're doing and not really pay attention to this because you only have 45 seconds here. If you go over the 45 seconds, the player's going to get a stress token, and stress tokens are bad in the game. So stress tokens are going to go over those heart spaces and clog stuff up. So that's basically a short, very short overview of the game where you're going to be going through this app. The app's going to lead everything. There is a how to play in the app. So that's a wonderful thing to use. It actually works really well. Taught me how to play the game. Really good. Everyone's going to have their own jobs to do. Everyone's going to be trying to push forward to get those titles. They're going to try to push forward to level up. They're going to try not to get these curse tokens because these curse tokens I didn't talk about. But if you get a curse token for any one reason, when you do a check, you're not going to be using your bonus die. You're only going to be rolling the 20. So it's going to be harder to get those bonuses. But once you do that roll, you will lose the curse token. There's also these really cool reroll tokens that I always go after. So you can do a reroll if you had a bad roll. Some of the locations on the board can become locked. There's all sorts of cool things, but the crux of this game is the story and you going through it. The app acts as the DM for the game and you're along for the ride, so it's the experience. And depending on like the race and the occupation you select and what actions you select, your gameplay will feel different each time, even though the overall story is going to be the same for each of these maps. You'll have a different experience on what you decide to do and what you do. Some of these do have branching things, but that's for something else. So that in a nutshell is going to be Freelancers. I just really wanted to show off how awesome these components are and how awesome just the general idea of the game works. It's really easy to teach. Like literally just what I said is all you really need to say to players, and the app will take care of everything. So super easy to get people around the table and immediately into playing this game. So let's go ahead back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts on Freelancers. So I really love Freelancers. This game is amazing. I actually like this one better than the previous incarnations of this type of Crossroads style game. This is an amazing game. I love the narration. I love the story. I love how everything just comes together in this game. I love how I create the characters and how I get those titles and the different decisions I make in the game. And the art in this game is amazing. The component quality in this game is amazing. Everything about this game is amazing. So with that said, who would this game be for? This is going to be a game for someone who liked Forgotten Waters a lot or who's played Dead of Winter and liked it a lot. And this is also for people who love story-driven games. This game has a low barrier of entry because the app takes care of all that stuff. So this game is great for friends and family to play or people that are just casually into the board game hobby. Overall, a hit for me. And if you're looking for a story-driven game that has really great player interaction with it between what you do and what you choose to do for your actions. I would highly recommend checking out Freelancers. And that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for watching.